Very good. Welcome to the hashtag show.
Right? It was just a deadpan look.
We're going to be talking about movies, the box office showdown. We are joined by Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jezza Reyes.
That's right.
Also, Daniel is back from the Nickelback Tour 2018 from Morocco Casino, doing it live. And I am back.
We toured around so many
You didn't get me
casinos.
tickets to the Nickelback show?
No, man, we were at so many casinos.
Did Creed open?
No, actually, it was Nickelback that opened for Nickelback. It's a weird story. It's a really weird story. But yeah, it happened. It happened that way. No one wanted to.
We're going to be talking about movies, though. But before we get into that, you already know we have the Super Chat feature. This is a pretty lax show. This is going to be free. What are you doing, man? So first of all, you came in here high as shit.
Hey, you can't be saying that.
Of your balls,
I
buddy.
can't say that.
You can't say that.
It's public record.
Yeah.
It's not public record.
You came in here out of your mind.
Joe, come on, you can't say that. Look,
Out of your mind.
He came in cookie faced.
Now look at you. What's wrong? How many drugs have you taken today?
Not a lot. I mean, just the essentials, I guess. I did not.
But we're going to be talking about the box office results, talking about a couple new releases that came out that you can watch on Netflix and stream those live, and getting into our movies that we're anticipating for 2019. But Super Chat feature, you already know what that is, and also share your opinion in the chat, which is live activated right freaking now. Okay, first and foremost, Jezzer, break us down. What's new in the box office this week?
We got that Sherlock Holmes film, the Holmes and Watson. And
we should have played a clip of Rose's interview, like a little fast cut there.
Did he say that he enjoyed speaking with him?
He said he enjoyed the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Said it was a fun movie.
And then what else came out? Vice came out?
Vice came out.
Yeah.
We could have cut a clip of Justin in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry.
And did The Mule come out?
No, Welcome to Marwen we did. That also came out. We
You watched that one.
I did watch that one. I could talk about Welcome to Marwen.
Cool.
Do a short little review about that. But
Isn't that cool? You got to speak to Michael Scott. Was that your first time? Mm-hmm. That was your first time? How was it?
he's great.
How hard was it for you not
I mean, it was probably harder for me not to call John Krasinski Jim.
That's what I was thinking.
Really?
Because his name's John, and Jim and John are so close.
You're like knocking out all the Office stars.
I thought about that.
Yeah,
but
one
I'm
by
probably
one,
not
he's
going to get
knocking
all of
them
them. We should have got Stanley at LA Comic Con.
I met Angela.
You met Angela. You might meet Dwight.
Maybe meet Dwight. That'd be cool.
Somehow you'll meet Craig Robinson.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I would want to have.
I almost interviewed
Ellen.
See, I knew you would, because all you'd be like, take your panties off, or whatever.
I almost interviewed Ed Helms last year.
For Tag?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. That would have been cool. Dude, you're knocking out all the Office stars. That's
I
awesome.
know.
Well, he almost knocked you out earlier tonight with when he slapped you in the back of the head.
I know, dude. I felt like he was wearing rings for a second, and then he took them off, like, real quick.
So I'm a ninja now.
I got the rings. Let me hit them, and then let me take them off real quick.
So on Instagram, we're doing a fun thing. So one of the movies we're going to be talking about today is Binderbox.
Binderbox.
2.
Binderbox.
Oh, no. Oh, Bandersnatch.
Same difference.
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch, blind box,
Also the bird box.
whatever. You watch them together simultaneously. More
you're
enjoyable.
interactive and you're blind. It's
Okay,
great.
so give me some box office results. We know what the new releases were. We got Marwen, Welcome to Marwen. We got Vice, and we had Holmes and Watson. Next time, Josh, make sure we have little super cuts.
Oh.
Okay, so this is estimated for Friday. So obviously Aquaman's gonna take the second week.
We surprised?
Not really. It's because it's the biggest movie.
And Jason Momoa will beat you up.
Yeah.
Been a
Apart
while.
from, it was a toss up definitely between that and Bumblebee. I was surprised that Aquaman took the lead on this one.
Honestly, I wasn't. From what I heard, I was like, I was kind of worried, but I just thought Aquaman's gonna have a bigger push or a bigger draw. People are just we want to see this fail, so let's pay to see it. And
I think more so people.
Well, it's gonna cross $1 billion.
Well, yeah, and they were happy.
I
Apparently.
think people are more so curious to see what the take would be or what angle they come from. Because I think with Bumblebee, it's definitely not this. Would you say Bumblebee is the same movie as its predecessors?
No. I don't think Aquaman is either.
Yeah, definitely not. But I feel like people, I mean, even the poster looks a lot like other Transformers posters.
Yeah, no, it looks more like a Marvel poster to me.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like
Star Wars kind of.
Yeah, it definitely looks different to me. The other Transformers posters I feel like had all the Transformers on them.
Do you guys think that the previews and trailers for Bumblebee did it justice as far as like the tone of the movie?
Yes, I do. I actually do. I actually do think the only unfortunate part about Bumblebee was the release date. I mean, this is the same argument that we have about Power Rangers, and it kind of lines up with Hasbro and Allspark. I mean, Hasbro really, it doesn't have anything to do with the Power Ranger 2017 movie, but I just feel like it's just a bad release date.
Do you think they're kind of like
It's not a bad release date. You make a lot of money in that date.
Yeah.
It's just it wasn't good for competition.
Do you think they were playing chicken as far as like who would back out?
I think that's what they wanted, but I don't think that they really stood a chance when it really came to. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Aquaman was going to win that. I don't think that there's much of a question about that.
It just sucks because I don't know. Like honestly, while I liked Aquaman,
You saw three-quarters of the movie.
not 3/4. What's the percentage that I missed? Like 20 minutes.
You missed. Well, the movie is 17 hours long. So.
I missed like 10 minutes of the movie, or 10%.
1/8.
Yeah, you missed like an eighth of the movie.
Yeah,
You missed a very important part of the
And
movie.
see,
though.
the thing is, I'm not
An
like
eighth.
I want to see that beginning part, but I don't want to sit through the whole movie again.
Really? That's
Yeah.
that's serious.
Well, just pull a Holmes and Watson and watch the beginning part and walk
Walk
out.
out.
That
And then
is
watch
true.
the rest of
That
Holmes
is-
and Watson.
No, that is a good idea. That is a good idea. But as far as like when I saw Bumblebee, I want to say that I enjoyed it a little bit more than I enjoyed Aquaman.
Yeah.
I did
Because
too.
the pacing was better. Mm-hmm. The pacing was better with Aquaman. While it had some really cool scenes visually, it felt long. You know, like when you watch a movie and sometimes it's long, but it doesn't feel like it.
Right.
Like Avengers: Infinity War. Did it feel long to you?
No.
Like it kept you on the edge of your seat.
Every bit.
With this one, there were some like parts in the movie where it was kind of slow that it made you feel like you're
So
watching a
you
2-hour
felt
movie.
essentially Aquaman had moments where some beats were just too low, too
Yes,
slow,
yes.
and they should have been okay,
Versus
if you're gonna keep
Bumblebee,
it up-
where Bumblebee left you like wanting a little bit more. Especially that first scene on Cybertron. I would go watch a full movie
full
on
Cybertron film.
Yes.
That's everyone
Where
wants that right
no
now.
human actors are in there. I mean, you could have them voice. What was the
Travis Knight.
not Travis
John
Knight,
Cena.
the voice of the bad guy?
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm.
You could have like big stars voice
Justin
these,
Theroux.
Yeah, big stars voice these robots, and
Yeah.
I would watch it.
So Daniel, who's in the chat right now?
Right now, we have in the chat only the people that have spoken, which are Edward Sanchez. Shout out to you. We're definitely Edward Sanchez Productions approved. Anna Miles, Brian Earl Thomas, and also Tom Craven.
Tom's one of our writers.
That's right.
Yes.
So, welcome. Thank you guys for being there. It says that there are 12 people watching, and actually, the numbers keep going up. But I won't know if you're there unless you say something.
So,
All right, so Daniel's going to monitor the chat throughout this,
Yeah.
and all right, let's get a breakdown of the top 5
okay,
that made the
top
box
5.
office.
So obviously number 1 was Aquaman.
No, let's go 5.
A 5 down.
Are you Captain Anticipation Killer?
Yes.
Let's go, starting with 5
Okay.
and move our way up to
All
1.
right. Number 5 is The Mule.
Clint Eastwood,
Oh, yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
No, you gonna watch it?
No.
I like Clint Eastwood movies. I got to give you in the mood for
I
it.
like Gran
yeah,
Torino.
that's the thing.
I would
You
definitely
would.
watch it on.
You would like, you would
That's a
like
movie
that.
made for
Yep.
you.
It's a movie made
Yep.
for me. Get off my lawn.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you once.
An old,
Racist comment.
yeah, an old white racist man that drives a fast car. That's everything Jesse likes in film.
You say I'm an old racist white
No,
man?
I'm just saying everything you like in film. You like old racist white people that drive fast cars.
I think
don't know.
the movie looks intriguing, but it's one of those movies you got to be in the mood for.
Yeah, definitely. It's Clint Eastwood movie, so
It is, well, which means it's going to be, almost impeccably directed.
it's probably gonna get an award.
Yes.
Or nominations.
Visually, it's going to be like, wow, this was
I don't think so.
You don't
Give
think
me
so?
number 4.
Number 4 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I really enjoy that movie.
That's a good movie.
I watched that before Bumblebee and Aquaman. It was really good. Number 3 is Bumblebee.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I thought Bumblebee might be number 2.
I actually
Yeah.
thought it would take the
Yeah.
number 1 spot. I felt that, like, after the first week, people were like, okay, we all saw Aquaman, now let's go see something else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. It is
And
the
then
second week.
I thought that people
It
were going to
is
go see
true.
Bumblebee. But it just seems like it's dropping off.
Yeah.
Piece
Well, I
by
mean, who
piece.
knows? You know, once it hits the international market, maybe it'll get a little bump. All those people will, the numbers of that will show, and then maybe it'll hit it in the 4th or 5th week. You know.
Number 2.
Possibly.
Number 2 is Mary Poppins Returns. I'm surprised about that because I'm not seeing any buzz about that, like on social media.
I haven't heard great things about it.
No?
Unfortunately, I've people that have seen it, and I'm like, well, it was just Mary Poppins.
Do you-
It really
Hardcore
wasn't great.
Disney fans, I feel, are loving it, but hardcore Mary Poppins fans aren't that excited about it. Me, as a general film goer, and I did see the movie,
Honestly.
Why is that poster in Spanish? El
regreso.
El regreso de Mary Poppins.
Hey, we love Spanish.
We do love Spanish. It's for our foreign language market.
It is.
But I do think the movie doesn't work on multiple levels. There's no iconic songs, and it just doesn't work on that level.
Do you think Emily Blunt is a like she'll bring people into the theaters?
I already gave my opinion on why I think she doesn't work as Mary Poppins, but I'm not going to repeat it here live. But
how about Emily Blunt as an actress?
I think she's great. I love Emily Blunt.
You think for the next Quiet Place without?
I think that's a mistake.
You think that's a mistake?
Why would you make a Quiet Place too?
Yeah.
A quieter place? Like, right. I don't. What do we need? Like, why do we need that?
But pretty much got it. What did they say the film was going to be?
The prequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, why? What do I need that for?
Well,
look, they did well by giving us that Quiet Place, doing so much, and then finally in the end, letting us see the monster at the end. Here goes our reveal. That was good. They did everything like that you should do on that type of film. There's no reason that there should be a sequel, in my opinion.
What I'm getting at, too, is if Emily Blunt can bring in, like, viewers, if she's, like, the single star of a movie. Because there's, like, an article of late.
Well, if this is a prequel, then that can also bring John Krasinski back.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, there's an article earlier, too, that she's going to be doing a movie with The Rock. Jungle Cruise. That we broke. We had a story on that a few months ago. And The Rock is getting paid $13 million more than her. You think that's justifiable? Or does that...
actually, I'm really curious.
He's a box office draw right now at the moment.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is...
Is he?
I know we talked about this.
Is he?
Is he not? Or no?
I mean...
You don't think The Rock...
Versus
you think
Skyscraper?
People still watched it.
True.
How much
Rampage?
Rampage? How much? I mean...
Now, yes, the Fast and Furious franchise. Okay.
All right. So
definitely.
The Rock...
That's an ensemble.
Yeah, true. And then he's getting a spin-off. We don't know how that's going to do.
The Rock and Emily Blunt. Who gets more money?
You know what? At the time they did time they did the signing and saying, "All right, this is what we're going to do for the film." The Rock.
The Rock.
Now it's like, oh shit.
This is a really good,
I don't think so.
Interesting.
And I know people are going to say the whole
Sexist
thing about
gesture. I'm sure you said it was.
It's the man versus woman thing, but I don't think so. No, I'm telling you, I don't think it is either. I think it has to do with performance. And at that time, when they signed the contract and say we're going to do the film, The Rock was a bigger draw. Yeah. Now you're like, you just had two films that were shit. I'm sorry to say it, they were shit. But he knew they were going to be shit. He was happy to sign the check, happy to sign the paper and get the check.
He's like
smart man.
He's a smart businessman.
The Rock's a bigger movie star.
The Rock is a bigger movie star.
I don't disagree with that.
Not a better actor versus.
No.
But does that okay? But
numbers,
if he's not top billed, or if he's top, if he is, I'm assuming he's top billed in this movie.
Because we had that same argument with Bryce Dallas Howard and Christopher Pratt for Jurassic World.
Did you just call him Christopher Pratt?
Yes, Chris Pratt. Sorry, Chris Pratt, where he was top billed on the film.
But he's the main character of the movie.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, do you think that The Rock is the main character of this movie?
I don't know. I mean, we only know what we released, and I actually think that we had to take that down because Disney told us to.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Really?
But I don't know. Look, if you're going to command box office numbers, what it comes down to is this. Mary Poppins is holding steady at number 2. I think what Mary Poppins is making is more than what Skyscraper and Rampage made.
Okay. But
does that to me that equates into money, right? It's all about box office draw.
But does that translate as far as like who gets paid more on a single
I mean, it should.
You think so?
I mean, look, here's a great point.
But like what he said, like this was initially before seeing these numbers.
Look, it should equate. If you're a bigger draw, you should make more money. I'll give you an example.
No, that's definitely true. That is definitely true.
So Tom Holland.
Okay.
And Robert Downey Jr. were both in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Ooh.
Robert Downey Jr. is in 14 minutes of the movie. Who do you think made more money?
Robert Downey Jr.
There you go. So that's my point, right? So I think that in this situation like this, it's a little different though, because I feel like they're both co-leads.
Okay.
Ooh.
I personally feel that the success and failure is going to be on the both of them. I actually think they should get paid the exact same amount.
The exact same amount.
I do. Because if the movie hinges on both of their performances, and it's more really look for this Jungle Cruise movie to this point, I haven't seen anything without The Rock and Emily Blunt. I haven't seen just The Rock, and I haven't seen just Emily Blunt.
So it's going to be a duo thing.
If she's doing as much promotion as he is,
yeah,
they should be getting paid the same amount of money.
Okay.
Is my opinion.
That's actually a really good
that's
point.
a good point. That's a good point. But I mean, like, as far as like anybody that hasn't seen like A Quiet Place or Mary Poppins,
A Quiet Place is a little different because I think that John Krasinski should have made more money, mainly because he's an actor, producer, and director of the film.
Okay.
I think that he obviously had a bigger workload. That's a lot different than co-starring with somebody.
True.
When it comes down to, let's say, hey Daniel, you want to go see that new Rock movie? Or Daniel, do you want to go see that new Emily Blunt movie? Which one are you most?
I'm gonna go see the Rock movie.
And that,
Emily Blunt's films are.
That depends. If you're asking me, is Mary Poppins opening the same day as Skyscraper? I might question it a little bit.
But also, that also depends whether or not you're a big Disney fan or not.
All right, then fine. Is Mary Poppins opening the same day as the Tooth Fairy? I'm gonna question it.
Tooth Fairy was actually pretty good. I'm go on record saying that.
Or the game plan.
That movie.
I like the game plan.
I enjoyed the game plan as well.
I enjoyed the game plan.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Kids, pretty cute.
I totally understand what you're saying.
But if it's like you're gonna see that Emily Blunt movie, which is Edge of Tomorrow 2, against Skyscraper 2, I'm gonna pick Edge of Tomorrow 2.
Edge of Tomorrow 2,
right? Especially if Tom Cruise is back.
Yeah.
And
that's the way I view that. But I think that's an interesting debate though, because I do think that if they're doing the same amount of promotion and they're on the same amount of promotional material,
yes, then it should be even.
Everybody's working.
Do you think she's bothered by the fact?
She should be.
She should be.
I mean, I think that Emily Blunt's a proven actress. She's no slouch. She knows what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
Is she an Oscar winner or no?
No. But I will say this is that if she's being billed the same way The Rock is being billed for a movie, she should make the same amount of money as The Rock.
Agreed.
I know somewhere I see her and I just feel like she's so demure. Like she has an Oscar, and you're like, no.
I do also think that with somebody like The Rock, though, what's really overshadowing this is that The Rock's a celebrity also. I mean, he's an actual celebrity. Like, that's
true.
She's a movie star. She's an actress, but The Rock is like.
Pseudo-celebrity. Like, he's
once again, he's clearly a celebrity. Once again,
he's a social media star. He's a wrestler.
How are you referencing him as? You're referencing him as The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Clearly, that shows you right there that he is a celebrity. He's an entity in his own. And that's the thing. So it's like, I get that. And that's true. But does that overshadow, once again, her prowess as far as how great of an actress she is? What she's shown, what she's actually proven? No, it doesn't.
Yes.
But at the time, when they were signing, it was about, all right, what's the name? What's the name? What's the name? That's a name? Okay, we're going to go with it.
I feel like this is going to just be like another one of those Disney movies that they, like that Witch Mountain.
Oh!
I don't know. We got a super chat.
Well, gentlemen, we have a super chat. And that's from Artie Emily.
This is a new one.
And yes. Hello, shout out to you. He says, pay with actors is usually based on
ROI, return on investment.
Return on investment, right. Hold on. Return on investment, which whoever usually brings in guaranteed profit on movies they've been on previously. So that kind of makes sense.
There is a formula to it. There's no getting around that.
If you were the person writing the checks, you would pay them equally.
If it was right now, this second.
When they signed those checks. At the time when they decided, we're going to do Jungle Cruise, we're going to have The Rock, we're going to have Emily Blunt. At that time. Without
the only justification where I would say pay The Rock more money is that if I'm telling Emily Blunt she doesn't have to do all the promotion for the movie, and The Rock has to do everything.
Okay.
Daniel, you're a big social media.
You're going to say social justice warrior, weren't you?
No. You're big in the social media game. The Rock, wasn't he one of the biggest? He has maybe the most followers on Instagram.
At one time, Instagram. The Rock was it was Kim Kardashian and The Rock, and then now it's Will Smith. Yeah. But at one time, that's what it was. What
are his numbers as far as social media? Like social media, his social media numbers versus Emily Blunt's social media numbers.
Oh God, his were skyrocketing.
So then his reach is a little bit farther.
But you can't say just because of his social media following is that his reach is farther. Because the thing is, it's like still the numbers are the thing that really counts as far as when it comes to. How is he making someone else money?
Yes.
That's the question. How many other people is he making money, and how much is he making versus how much she's making?
Okay.
That's something that I would use more of a way to do it. Social media, big deal. I mean, Kim Kardashian's on social media all the time, blah, blah, yada, yada. But there are some people that don't have as many as her, but still make close to or as much as she does without it. So it does depend.
Yeah.
I mean, box office draw is a real thing too.
Yeah.
So like, I understand the essence of box office draw, but here's the interesting thing though. Let's take a look at the movies that are in theaters right now. Okay, you got, let's say the top 5.
Okay.
You have The Mule.
Okay.
What was number 4?
Number 4 was Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, Bumblebee, Mary Poppins, and Aquaman.
Yes.
Out of those 5 movies, who's the biggest movie star? Jason Momoa, Emily Blunt, John Cena, Into the Spider-Verse, Jake Johnson, or Shameik Moore, or Clint Eastwood.
It's toss up between Momoa and John Cena.
And it shows in the box office, right? But I would put, see, that's funny that you say that, because I would put Emily Blunt a bigger celebrity than John Cena.
Yeah. Okay.
By a mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's be honest, Jason Momoa, 100% honest about this. Jason Momoa, name me another movie that Jason Momoa starred in as the lead role that was able to have box office success.
Baywatch Hawaii.
That was a television.
Go ahead. Do you have one?
That was a television film, but there is no such thing. There is no such thing actually.
There is no such.
So here's my
there may be
question.
series
Here's
or
my
shows.
question. I disagree more so about this celebrity and
Does
agreeing.
Justice League count?
It does count, but he's not top bill.
He's not- yeah,
he's
no.
he's like fourth or
Yeah.
fifth on that
Okay,
list.
okay.
But I think it's more about the brand that's presenting the movie, which is Jungle Cruise is a Disney movie.
Okay.
So Warner Brothers and Aquaman and DC, they're the ones presenting Aquaman. That's why I think it's successful.
Yeah.
I think that it's a superhero movie, and let's be honest, genre-wise, superhero movies do tend to do better.
Okay.
I think that's the key here. And what we got to look at second to that is Disney movies. All right, second is into that term is Disney movies.
Yes.
True.
Third into that, giant size action movie. That's exactly what we're seeing reflected in the box office.
Yep.
And-
the only reason why Spider-Verse is a little lower is because it came out first.
And with that, you also have to consider the fans that are going to see those things, and those fans having the expendable capital, wanting to go. Because sometimes you'll think about it and you're like, okay, well, it's this action film, which means it may be a bunch of guys that are going to see it, and they may drag their girlfriends to it. Then versus, okay, here goes a Disney one where
It's gonna be harder to drag your boyfriends to it.
Well, sometimes it can be, but other times there may be guys that are just like, well, The Rock's still in it.
Here's
I
the
guess I'll go
downside
for it,
of this
you know?
Jungle Cruise movie,
So
though,
it doesn't
personally.
count.
So you got to look at these properties for what they are. I think that Disney hasn't had much success though adapting the rides into the films, with the exception of the Pirates franchise.
I'm still waiting for that Matterhorn movie. When's that happening?
With Vinny
Vin-
Chase.
Vinny Chase?
What happened to your eyes? Just
Dude,
all of a
it
sudden?
just started hitting me.
Are you having like a
Oh,
sinus
right.
infection or
Wait,
something?
Wait, what started hitting you? I'm sorry?
Huh?
What started hitting you? Was the
ice. Yeah,
the icing?
yeah.
But anyways, like I was
yeah.
saying, Disney does extremely well with their Disney
Loving that we
Disney Princess franchise, the Marvel franchise, Star Wars franchise is in flux, but it still does really well.
Definitely.
But it's when they're adapting the rides is when it turns into something else. So Pirates of the Caribbean is a franchise that's doing well. Each one hasn't been doing as great as the first.
Yeah.
But a movie that totally tanked, that didn't do well at all, surprisingly, with George Clooney and Brad Bird, was Tomorrowland.
Yes.
So-
that's very
Well, that
true.
was because it was such a stretch.
See,
But I don't think
I
that's any
actually-
more of a stretch than the Jungle
yeah,
Cruise.
exactly.
Like they just made up a story and used the Tomorrowland
Hey, is there a
movie.
Big Thunder Mountain movie,
Yes.
Dan? There is a Big Thunder Mountain movie, right?
I think it has
or
Dolly
something
Parton in
vaguely
it.
based on the Big Thunder Mountain story mythology. So,
Does
like,
it have Dolly Parton in it?
well, I think there was a more recent one, like Race to Witch Mountain,
No, that's
which,
different.
Which
That's
had The
like-
Rock in it.
That's more like Tomorrowland. That's more
I'm like, come on.
Tomorrowland.
which had The Rock in it.
Yeah, it did. That's what
it
I'm
did.
saying. Yeah.
So,
only thing that came out of that was good memes, and that's it.
That was it.
That
though,
is
with
it.
him
So
in
when
the
we're
car,
talking
then,
about
yeah.
the box office numbers, I would say right now in this climate that if they're doing this amount of promotion and yeah, you're really red. You haven't like, did Daniel slap affect your whole face?
Yeah,
like, is that what
yeah.
happened?
Like it happened like over time. It's crazy.
You turned into the Red Hulk over the course of this episode.
Daniel, put Arnold back on my face.
I'm just saying Emily Blunt is his favorite actor.
Oh, I'm almost as red as Arnold.
So, yeah, I do think that they should get paid the same amount. So let's move on to our next topic. And then this is going to be an interesting one.
Okay.
I want to talk about some streaming stuff.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of things that have come out, not
Hey,
just
you know what?
just Bird Box and not just the Black Mirror movie, also Roma. Hit.
I haven't watched that
Jeez,
one
I
yet.
haven't seen it
haven't
yet.
watched
Yeah,
that
I
one
put
yet.
It's one of Barack Obama's favorite movies of the year.
I put it on the list and I was like, dang, I haven't seen it yet.
But Bandersnatch came out. That's the Black Mirror one.
It's a,
Yeah.
Bird Box
it's
came
a
out.
separate movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you know that Black Mirror, like, it's just an anthology.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I want to talk about these three things in particular because streaming is doing something pretty innovative. But first question before we dive into each of these movies, for them to get nominated for Oscars, is it cheating?
No.
Why?
Because the thing is, these films are still made, shot, produced the same way other films are done.
What about
They just
HBO
have to
films?
be the
'Cause those are too.
distribution. I think they should. It's just the distribution that's different. Because, like, for example, when Netflix had...
But they're debuting on TV, so doesn't that count as the made-for-TV Emmys?
I don't think
and
so.
not Oscars.
I don't think so because, like, for example, Netflix purchased Mudbound.
Okay.
And that got something at Sundance and a Golden Globe and was nominated for something, but it didn't hit the Oscars.
Is Sundance only for movies?
I don't know. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, it's a film festival.
Well, because my cousin's going to Sundance for a TV show.
Well, I'm sure that they have that now, too.
That makes sense. No, but still with it...
Well, they have a
the thing
Sundance
is,
channel. Also.
Just because they have that level of distribution and it goes for that, doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve the same respect that you do in another film.
I think it does. I don't think it should get nominated for an Oscar.
Really?
Because it's
Absolutely.
But the thing
It's
is,
still a film.
it's still a film which has the
If you shoot a
content.
film on an iPhone
Okay.
and you put it on YouTube and it's the best film I've ever seen,
Okay.
should it be nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Why?
Because it has released in a theater. Now I understand. Here's the
really?
point. Here's the thing that I understand. Here's the point that I want to make. Is the reason I don't think it should be nominated for an Oscar is because the only people that can see a lot of these films are people that live in Los Angeles or New York.
Our producer says Roma and Bird Box were released in theaters earlier to get
Just to get an Oscar nomination,
Yeah,
they
exactly,
did a 2-week run.
exactly,
But
yeah.
this is the point. This is the point
Yeah.
exactly what I was making. So they only released in New York and L.A.
Mm-hmm.
The Middle America doesn't get a chance to do a theater going experience. I think that should disqualify it, at least to an extent, of being for Oscar contingency.
And the reason you're saying this is because also you have to think about, well, not only big blockbuster
No,
budget films,
because
but the
then-
independent films.
no.
That's the reason why.
The main reason I think it should get disqualified is because then when they have Emmy films that are up for best made-for-television movie or made television movie, and they're in that category too.
And then also, yeah, well, then that's
How
the thing.
can you win
if
both?
If they're pushing for the whole, okay, I'm going for an Oscar, I'm going for a Golden Globe. You can't push for the TV thing, right? You have to pick one genre or one kind of area to be able to push for, right?
I think that once you're doing cinematic storytelling like this, it is a tad bit skewed and unfair. I think personally.
But then that does kind of suck for those like little ones that, well, hey, we made a film, but we just need distribution. And unfortunately, Netflix actually offered me the option to do it. I need to get my film out.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting your film out. What I do think but look, you got to look at the movies that have won in the past, right? Even smaller movies. Let's take something like what was the Indian?
Life is Beautiful.
Let's take the Indian one that was like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire. Let's take that. That was an independent movie. Danny Boyle directed it.
Yep.
Independent movie, but it released nationwide.
Right.
Right. It had a nationwide release. The thing is, nope, that's not what I was saying.
Nope.
The thing is, when they released that film, it got more attention after the Oscars because it won.
Yes.
Right. But I think that that's what the Oscars are supposed to do. If I do see a movie, here's a great one that's not going to get nominated for an Oscar that I saw as a documentary, the Tanacon documentary.
Oh, shoot, that was really good. And it was all produced and shot and distributed on YouTube on Shane Dawson's YouTube
You think that's
channel.
going to deserve a nomination?
Oh, it was great.
It at the very least deserves to be looked at and considered.
Yes.
Because of
the content.
Dude,
It's
it was
a really
content.
good
It was the
documentary.
way that it,
But-
the way
I
it
should
was
do that one,
presented.
right?
You did, but
Yeah.
it's going to get overlooked. You know why?
because it's a YouTuber.
Because it's a
YouTuber.
YouTuber. So that's the whole point I'm trying to make. Is
But
that
can he still try to submit?
There
not at
submit
this
it
point
for
now?
him?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. There have been YouTubers that have like made full-length movies that.
What's his name? Shane Dawson?
Yeah.
Hashtag Shane Dawson, you deserve an Oscar.
I
You at
agree.
least deserve a nomination for that
He
documentary.
deserves to at least be considered. That's what I think.
We got another message from another producer that said Steven Soderbergh's movie was shot on an iPhone.
But where was it released?
It's going to be released in theaters March 20th.
Of course
Yeah.
it is. Forget about the way it was shot. It really all depends on where it was released, right? We
It's
can do
more
a movie on an
distribution.
iPhone.
It's distribution.
Because also, I mean, there was another thing, that Woody Harrelson thing that he did a live movie, right?
Oh,
Just because it was ambitious
yeah.
doesn't necessarily make it good.
That's true.
But I definitely think that somebody like a Shane Dawson, like that should be in some consideration for a lot of things. He might not have the money to release it worldwide in theaters, but like if we're saying the same with like Netflix and all these other tropes, I think it kind of is.
Another message from the Daniel
I get
Nagano
it.
producer says because Slumdogs didn't get a national release until after the Oscars.
But it got released though. I mean, it did get.
See, so then it's kind of hitting that.
So that's not a credential that it needs to get.
Oh, it definitely needs it has to be released in theaters to get nominated. That's a fact.
Is intent to be intent to go to the theaters enough for them?
So the way that it works is a part of your budget is how many theaters you can release in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. If you're looking at, I bet you this though, Slumdog Millionaire was released in more theaters than Bird Box and Roma.
Oh,
for a longer duration
on its first interstitial release.
Because you know what it feels like to me? It's almost like when you know what it's like? It's like the Dream Team. It's kind of like when you go to the Olympics and you're just putting the best out there. I'm like, hey, we're gonna recruit everybody from around the world that's the best to play for us for this one time a year, and then you're done.
Soccer.
And then. I mean, that's essentially what it is, right? But I think that to me, it makes all these other films kind of like that can't do that inferior, and they're not going to get looked at.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I mean, no, and I get that, and that's what I thought it was going to be kind of like, well, that's not fair for the little man. You know, the independent films, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is, with independent films, unfortunately, they don't have a budget to really release everywhere, too. And they release to a limited release until they get the buzz, and they blow up just like...
But I also think there's a prejudice against big budget movies that deserve Oscars.
There is, and the reason they do that is because, like you said, they have to do the whole...
Dark Knight.
That didn't get an Oscar?
Nope.
Oh, man.
It didn't get an Oscar nomination, and they literally had to change the Oscars going from 8 to 10 nominations because of that movie, because so many people were outraged that it didn't get a nomination. But I think that's one of them. I think another one, and I don't think it's going to get overlooked, but I think it's going to be Black Panther.
Yeah, well, and like you said, though...
But the one that will get overlooked, and I guarantee you it's going to get overlooked, and it's really good, is Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh, for what, music? Or
well, it for sure it has to get nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But it almost deserves a nomination for Best Film of the Year.
It is a really good film. Yeah,
I liked it.
I mean, it's better than... It is, as a film, it's better than Black Panther. From beginning to end, it is a better movie.
I'll go for you with that.
Black Panther had the hype, but this is a
Black Panther
really
had the
good
hype,
film.
and that was it. That was the big thing about it. And sure, it was an okay film. It was a good film.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it. But
this one was
Spider-Verse,
good throughout.
it was good throughout. That's true. The story was actually good. It was connected. You felt things. You went through all the range of emotions.
What? Black Panther is better than Into the
Spider-Verse. we've had that argument. Actually, did you guys have it last week?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys want to go into the details on that argument, go ahead and tune in to what we had last week. But honestly, I agree with you that.
Good.
So there's a clarification on Slumdog from one of our producers. It says Slumdog Millionaire was first shown in Telluride Film Festival on August 2008, where it was positively received by audience, generating a strong buzz. The film was also screened in Toronto International Film Festival.
TIFF.
Yeah.
On September 7th of 2008, where it was the first widely acknowledged popular success and winning the People's Choice Award. Slumdog Millionaire debuted with a limited North American release on November 12, 2008, followed by a nationwide release in January 23, 2009.
The limited release, do we know how many theaters that was in? The limited release?
Started with 10, got up to 500 by December.
And how many, do we know that the numbers for Bird Box and Roma?
147, but that was only 3 weeks.
Okay. Oh. So it's a little skewed. Those numbers are, it's a different ball game.
You've seen Bird Box. Does it deserve an Oscar?
No.
Is it just like a regular thriller film?
No.
Is it smarter than A Quiet Place?
Okay. Bird Box is not smarter than Quiet Place. What it is Quiet Place meets The Happening. And the reason I say that
is that the
M. Night Shyamalan, where
the plants Mark Wahlberg,
yes, pretty much that's exactly what you're getting. And instead of you're just switching one sense for another. Instead of sound, you're just taking away sight.
But in this movie, does it just a black screen and you just hear everything?
No, they don't actually.
Ooh, can we
that.
watch it
but
with
the thing
blindfolds
is, the film itself is more like I told a lot of people this. The film itself is.
You just want an audio recording?
Yeah, you just want an audio recording,
or with earmuffs on, or earplugs on. How does that work? How can you make this movie even more?
Can we get Arnold back? Can we get Arnold back
challenging?
just for a moment? Just for a moment. Tom Craven actually hits us with a super chat.
Thank you so much.
So let's say what's up to Tom.
Tommy
Tom
boy.
has to say, love having you three on the screen talking movies. We appreciate it. Thank you. We love being here to be able to talk about movies with you.
What would Arnold? You have a special message for Tom Craven?
Tom?
Okay. Arnold, are you there?
Oh, he's back. You channeled him.
Tom Craven, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. I'm here at that hashtag show.
Thank Thank you so much.
Thanks, Arnold. I'm so glad. Wow.
I appreciate that, Arnold.
That takes a lot out of you to channel him, right? Like,
anybody that wants to super chat, you'll get a special message from Arnold.
Special message from Arnold.
That'll be
He'll
a
probably
thing.
even leave you a voicemail. I don't know, whatever. But no, the film itself, I said, was like an allegory for like the fear of intimacy, vulnerability, and even parenthood, which is very much like Quiet Place. I think they took a note from that. But that's in the book
pry
itself.
out their eyes with a fork?
And then after that, you have. Then after that, you have everything that's happening that is just like The Happening, where it's just, all right, this unseeable force is making people kill themselves.
Are we talking about The Happening starring Zoe Deschanel and Anne Hathaway about the cool things that are happening in the early 2000s?
What's happening, bro?
What's happening?
What's
Nope, we're talking about The Happening with box office draw Mark Wahlberg.
Well, he was in the last Transformers movie.
Well, I mean,
Two?
hey, he's kind of busy right now, right?
He was the last night.
Exactly, bro. All right? He's kind of busy right now, bro.
All right, so I do want to talk about Bird Box for a second here and analyze. A lot of people are definitely comparing this to A Quiet Place. We got another super chat.
Got another super chat, once again, from Tom Craven. And he says, Arnold, show me your calves. I love this. Are you going to stand on the table? Can we channel Arnold and still show the calves? I don't know if we can do that. This is scaring me right now, people. I don't know how to do this. Oh, my God. Dear God.
I can't.
That's so weird. Nobody can see this.
Wait, that kind of. That's,
I can't.
wow.
Can you see? Oh,
There you
can you see my calves?
There you go, ladies. You just saw Arnold's calves.
That was weird.
You're welcome,
There
ladies.
you go, ladies. But Tom Craven.
Hey,
Come
Tom
on,
is
man.
helping now. I don't know. I'm
like
just saying,
this. I like this. Edward Sanchez production says, worst Arnold impression ever.
Wow.
What are you talking about? It's not an impression.
It's not
That's
an
Arnold.
impression. It's Arnold. If you can
You're
channel
insulting
Arnold,
Arnold
if
right
you can
now,
channel
man.
Arnold, then maybe that will be your thing. But
Yeah.
you can't, my
Hey,
friend.
listen, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, maybe you can. And if you can, send in that video.
Put that video.
THS at that #show.com because we want to hear your Arnold impressions and we'll play them right here on the show.
We will play them on the
Please
show.
send those in.
Yes.
Please send those in.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Oh my God, we'll have so many.
And then
Just
we'll
come-
make a compilation of it.
Yes. Oh, that would be so.
Here's
Alright.
the worst Arnold impressions.
So let's go back to Bird Box for a second. Do you
Right.
think? I mean, obviously, movies take a lot of time to get made. Do you? I don't really think that there's enough time for them to have seen A Quiet Place. But like, I got an idea.
I didn't know.
Let's do it with no sight.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's actually a book. It's a novel. I forgot what year the novel came out, but it's a novel, and they just chose to go ahead and adapt it and turn it into a film. So it's something that already existed. I
not
don't
a
know
copycat
how
movie.
much. Well, I don't know because I'm like, when did they actually?
Why do you sound like a Muppet?
I'm wondering. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy.
So can we put a Kermit the Frog?
Yeah, people what I hear. You can get a Kermit.
2014.
2014 it was written, so it still could have copied off of the Happening.
Man, Jim
Yeah,
Halpert, you
but
should be
not the
super
Quiet
mad,
Place.
bro.
Not the
Super
Quiet
mad.
Place.
Well, here's another. I actually hope he doesn't get overlooked.
Well,
because
wait. I don't know how long that script was floating around though in Hollywood though, for a bit. Because I know the two that wrote it or whatever, they said that they were shopping around for a while before it actually got picked.
I want to just say
So,
my
I don't
beard
know.
looks glorious right now.
Huh?
Treatment, not a script.
It was a treatment, really? Because okay.
Okay, so when it comes down to this movie, though, did it do anything different that really can stand outside of the crowd,
Honestly,
especially
no.
with the film like A Quiet Place coming out earlier this year?
Right. Actually, I don't think so. And that's something that a lot of moviegoers were noticing. Sure, they all watched it. They had huge numbers with everyone watching it. And that's more due to a big social media push that was
Is it
happening.
because of the
where
hype?
everyone was... All because of the hype right now.
That's what that
Hype
spelled out. I couldn't
beast
get it.
galore. Hype beast
I thought it spelled
galore.
out hope, but I was wondering why it was a funny looking
Why it was-
candle for the
yarmulke.
what is it called?
Yarmulke.
Isn't the candle for
It's a
for
menorah.
Menorah?
That
Is
would
that a
be
menorah?
No, that would be like Psy for Greek. So
What is, wait, I thought this was like a Happy Holidays, but you know they have the coexist license plate and it's all the things. I thought that was Happy Holidays,
No, man, I'm
and
a
that's the
happy-
H for like ho ho
Ho,
ho.
ho,
That's the
uh,
candle for the menorah, and that's like Kwanzaa. I didn't know what the other ones were.
You said that's like Kwanzaa?
Well, one of
I don't
them.
know which one it is.
It's Feliz Navidad.
The P is
Feliz
actually
Navidad,
the P.
amigos.
Weird enough. Unfortunately, it's
you say
Festivus. No, I said unfortunately.
Oh.
I'm putting it together. It's,
He said
Festivus.
he said that's a great idea.
I said that's an excellent idea. That's what I said. It's a fucking excellent idea.
All right. So was it did it do enough to stand out?
No, I don't think it did, and I think once again the movie-going audience, or at least the Netflix and chill audience, figured it out because
That's definitely not
there
a Netflix
became
and chill movie.
yeah, right. No, I feel that the backlash from it came almost day
put some
2.
blindfolds on.
Hey, so I do want to ask you the question though. So you saw the movie. If they liked, all right. So we're gonna play a little game here. If they liked this movie, then they should see Bird Box. What movies would you say if they liked?
Bird Box, they should
Nope.
watch.
Nope. Other way around. If you're a fan of blank, then you should watch
okay.
Bird Box. Give me a couple movies.
Give us a
Right,
pitch.
whoa,
Give us a pitch.
Well, you already said The Happening.
Those two. If you like The Quiet Place, go ahead and try to watch The Bird Box. If you like The Happening, you'll definitely love Bird Box because it's done much better. After that, there aren't too many films that I was really thinking of putting a similarity to, but then it's just kind of running out of my head. I did hear Producer to the Side. Did you have an idea?
Daredevil. Ray Charles.
It's not a movie.
Daredevil. Well, actually, no. If you did like Hush.
I guess
on
it is a
Netflix
movie
as
starring
well.
Ben Affleck.
If you did like Hush on Netflix, you'll probably enjoy this as well.
All right, let's move on to our next pick of our next movie that we're really going to focus in on,
boy.
and this is Binderbox,
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch, Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Now this was a pretty cool, innovative idea. This is taking interactive storytelling to a whole new level.
Yes.
Now I know later on next year, Michelle Rodriguez is coming out with a movie called
The Limit.
The Limit,
Yeah.
which is an all VR movie.
Yep.
This is a little bit different than that.
Actually, the limit is out already.
All right, well, there you go. But this is a little bit different than that.
Mm-hmm.
And Bird Snatch is going to...
Bandersnatch. You doing
Bandersnatch.
this on purpose.
I wasn't-
Hey, it's Bandersnatch. You're making fun of my movie. It's Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
People in the South are going to hate you.
Yeah, man.
So I was going to say...
Automatically. It's just like all letters can be sent to just whatever email.
So Bird Snatch is going... It was a pretty interactive movie.
Bandersnatch.
And it gave you a lot of choices here. Now, talk to me... Because I watched this last night, and I was pretty addicted to this because I was a
Yeah.
big fan of the Choose Your Own Adventure
I picked
books
one.
when
I
you were a
picked one
kid.
adventure.
You did pick one thing.
Pick Frosted Flakes.
Let's talk about
He
this,
did.
though. The
He
interactive
did.
storytelling, is this the future?
I don't feel it's a future. It is a novelty, and it's something that people will enjoy, but I don't think it's something that people will want to get used to.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is, sometimes when people do watch films, they don't always want it to be, hey, I didn't sign up for something interactive. I didn't sign up to go ahead and choose my adventure and do the job.
Like our
You
producer,
make a movie.
Megami.
You entertain me. That's how some people are.
You know, it'd be cool if they put in like 3D in this too, or VR in this too.
Oh God, it would.
I was thinking about that,
for it,
actually.
and
Wouldn't that
I
be
thought
cool?
about that.
It's like,
and
all
that
right, I
wouldn't be
gotta
bad.
choose this.
Yeah.
Or you walk in that direction. That would be so
But
cool.
then again, we just did see Hardcore Henry not that long ago.
I haven't seen
So-
that one.
Okay, so Bandersnatch
you
lets
got
you lets you choose your own kind of your own destiny. Really,
Yeah.
the destiny of a young man named Jonas.
No,
Stefan.
Stefan.
Stefan
Who's
Urkel.
Jonas.
Right, Stefan Urkel.
Stefan, but not
Stefan
Urkel.
Arkell.
Stefan. But anyways, Stefan Butler, I believe.
Yeah.
But Stefan, you go on this journey with him, and you get to make his choices, and you start seeing him ravel at the seams. Here's the
He looks like a
question.
serial killer.
Well,
Here's the question I have for you though about this, is that now that because here I kind of disagree with you. I actually do think this is the future of storytelling in movies. Well, mainly TV shows,
okay.
and I'll tell you why. Listen,
Do you think the gimmick's cooler
How
than 3D?
expensive is that then?
well, it's free apparently on Netflix, right?
No, well,
Not
Netflix has
free.
ridiculous amounts of money to throw at stuff. Apparently, they do it all the time.
Yeah, we're losing.
But
We're
the thing
hemorrhaging
is-
money, but we'll keep making
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But I feel
But
like
listen, if they're the innovators of doing this, because let's be honest, they're pretty much the innovators of streaming services.
They
yes.
are.
So if they're the innovators of doing interactive television, whereas everybody's already catching up to just the streaming part of this, and they're on the forefront of this, I actually think this could be a thing where you're going to start seeing Netflix original series that are going to be simply like this.
It's simply interactive.
We need a new Goosebumps series where they do this. Like
You're going to tell me that if this wasn't a Marvel title that was almost a choose your own adventure of, hey, this is going to be Daredevil, except you get to choose his journey,
Oh, people would go insane. over
people
it.
would fucking flip out about that.
But which one is the right one?
It doesn't matter.
I got.
It's not going to matter.
I got an interesting fact.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess it took
This
them.
isn't the first time
it
they've
took
done
them
it,
3
though.
months to shoot the whole thing.
Yep.
There's a total of 312 minutes of footage, and it ends up being a 90-minute series. That is cool.
Man,
That's really cool.
that's tough.
That's really cool.
Because that's, I mean, man.
That's a
3
really
months
cool.
and
Like
they're shooting
honestly,
like back.
after
That's going
everything,
hard
it's
work.
just a really cool idea.
It's
It
a
is a
cool
cool
idea,
idea.
but I do. There's an article up on that hashtag show.com
Exactly.
that Josh Goldman wrote. I do agree that this is a novelty idea and it's the first of its kind. But if they did reboot Lost, this would be the way to do it.
Whoa!
Mainly,
Both of us just lost our shit.
well,
Explain.
here's the reason why. Lost is one of those shows that's all about consequences and all about the things you did in your past.
Okay.
And if you're going on this journey as whatever character and you're exploring your past and you get to choose kind of the path that he goes on, you're either going to die by the smoke monster, and then you can pick up somebody else's journey, or you stay on that track and stay on that journey. You make it an interactive storytelling.
But then, like that, it's kind of like, well, then why not just make it a game? I mean, we have Until Dawn.
I mean, you
already.
can technically say why. I mean, this is essentially.
Why did they do that? Well, yeah.
I mean, this is pretty much a Telltale.
Well, this is Until Dawn.
Until
this is
Dawn
exactly what
or
it is.
Detroit
but it's
Become
just,
Human.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what this is. And with it, people have been clamoring for it. They've wanted it. This isn't the first time Netflix has done it.
But here's
They
why
did
you don't
something
make
with
it
some
into a game.
animated
I'll tell you why you
series
don't make
or
it
some
into a
animated
game.
Film, and it was just like really quick.
You don't make it into a game because those are what games are for. I think that we're traveling towards narrative storytelling that you get to choose a path. That's almost like saying, well, why read the book if I can watch the movie?
Watch a movie. Well,
Right? Two different experiences.
Unfortunately, that's a phrase that a lot of people do say.
How do you?
But you're here more so. I hear people more so saying, "I'm glad I read the book because the movie's not as
Movie's
good."
not as good.
So
Very
I
true.
think that those are two different experiences.
How would you implement this into a theater, like into an act? Like,
Well, I think that it's the same way you would do on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where it's like, all right, audience, choose which
And
one is
they,
right,
they
right?
do that.
Wait, didn't
Yeah.
they do that? Oh no,
That's
they
right.
didn't do
They
that.
have done
But
that.
you know what was
They
interesting?
used to do it at Disneyland.
The
for lots of things,
predecessor,
and
the
they changed
predecessor for this though, that could have been this, that which actually, if they released it now and probably should do it like this in a theater, is Clue. Because
it. Oh yeah, Clue has so many different endings.
Clue
That's
has so
right.
many different endings.
That's right.
And then depending on what path you choose with your theater,
Yeah.
it's a communal experience that you can figure out. Another one that you could do this with is horror movies, especially with those
no,
ladies
no,
that talk
no,
to us.
There was one.
That talk to us in the back of fucking movies where they want to tell me how they'd handle the
handle the
situation.
situation.
Just push the
There you
fucking
go.
button, lady.
There you go.
There was
Oh,
a-
girl, no, I would not. No, I don't need
Shut
to
your
hear
mouth,
you.
know your role, push
Press
the
the
button,
button.
I'll see it
That's
on
it.
screen,
Just
that's all
shut
I
up.
need.
There was a Final Destinations DVD that they had that where you chose the story.
Oh.
And it was actually really cool. It was actually really cool.
Are you going to get a new one? Is that not a new one?
They said they tried doing it in movie theaters like 15 years ago, but the choices were voting. Each
Orbital
seat
reading?
had a remote with a different colored button to make your votes. That's pretty
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then
I mean,
according
look,
to the
I
amount
think
of
right
people
now
who did it,
we're in the newer stages of cinematic storytelling. We're starting to see VR movies because let's be honest, VR is changing the game in such a dynamic way.
You don't think that's a gimmick? You don't think VR is gonna like
No,
disappear?
I
after a
don't.
while?
And I'll tell you why. Because there's so many things that VR is doing now that I was like, man, honestly, this almost defeats the purpose of me ever having to buy a ticket to a live sporting event
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
Because
have you seen those commercials
for the
with-
NBA?
Not NBA, but it was with Jonah Hill and Adam Levine where they're watching a movie together. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is going to defeat all of that. Mainly because if I'm sitting there with an NBA pass at the courtside seats and it looks like I'm in an NBA game, I'm not going to an NBA game.
That's very true.
I'm not going to pay for parking. I'm not going to drive there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can do it in my underwear. You
And
know
the,
what I
thing
mean?
is, and the thing is with VR though, and
I
know
just
a lot
really
of
hope
people-
that they can implement VR weddings because I don't like going to weddings. So like if you get married or if anybody of you guys get married,
would you be at home wearing?
hey, if you guys want to see me neck up, I'll wear tuxedos
There you
and
go.
shit.
Okay,
But
all right.
I mean, if I want to go in my underwear, let me go.
Yeah.
Like, I want VR weddings. Don't invite me to your weddings anymore. Don't invite me to your birthday parties. I just celebrate through VR.
Dude, you don't even need to do that. Just tell somebody to show up with FaceTime.
Man, this is starting to
Just
sound
walking
like
around.
Sword Art Online, and I am gonna
Yeah,
get
it is.
addicted to this.
Yeah, it
but
is.
honestly, if you look at the way that VR is working, I think it's making you don't have to go to sporting events anymore. Movies is a great example too, because with cinematic storytelling through a VR, you can talk in a theater. You can go watch it with your friends.
And this is the thing. A lot of people, and I'm gonna say it, and when I start saying it, it's like, "Oh, shut up, Daniel," but it's true. The way porn goes is the way usually everybody else does when
It's
it comes
true.
to technology. When they had to choose between HD or Blu-ray, porn chose Blu-ray. Blu-ray became the universal format. When it comes to VR, porn is choosing to go ahead and do a lot of VR content. Porn is not going to die.
You don't
It's
think
going
so?
to
That's
actually
good
flourish.
because I just spent money on a VR.
The
Oculus,
for
you get the
PlayStation?
Oculus.
I got a PlayStation.
I think I'm gonna get the Oculus.
Yeah, I got the
The
PlayStation.
Oculus, man.
Yeah,
Dude, I
maybe
played
the Oculus.
Until Dawn had the scare. I was like, oh man, nope.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Also, I mean, look at the smaller things though. Something just like haunted houses in October that you would go
Come
through.
on.
If you go to have you ever been in the Void in Burbank?
Not yet. I do want to go.
Let me just tell you right now. I did the Wreck-It Ralph things. They
I
invited me
did
there.
the
It's
Star Wars
amazing.
one.
Star Wars one's
I
amazing.
loved
too.
it.
But there's a horror one.
Yeah.
That's also you're with your friends and you're walking through this haunted house. That eliminates actors that you have to hire.
Yep.
The space you have to rent out.
Yep.
The costumes you have to buy. All that stuff
It depends,
things of the
though.
past.
How expensive it is? How expensive is it to shoot stuff like for this?
I think your return on investment is
Way bigger.
way bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Bigger.
I mean, I think VR is here to stay.
I
agree.
saw this video
I agree.
clip of like these two young Filipino guys in Philippines where they had them put a VR headset and they're just moving like a little cart.
I mean, listen, we've come a long way from the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, and we have seen that innovation grow into exactly what we do see now. And that's crazy for me because it's like, okay, I'm living through all the innovations that VR has gone up to. Until the moment I die, it's going to be like, well, here goes, finally.
It's
Here's a
pretty
chip
scary,
into
man.
your brain, and you're like, wow, and then I'm
I
dead.
played that Creed video game.
I played the Creed
busted
video
my
game.
hand on that.
Did you hit something? Okay,
Yeah, like
because
a-
so
I hit
many
my
people.
entertainment.
I saw so many people do that, and I'm
I heard
like,
you hit
here
Magalia.
goes.
I didn't know.
That's why she hasn't been
That's why
around
she
for the
hasn't been
last
around.
month and a half.
Don't
Oh!
don't
what I heard.
say no.
That's what I
Don't
heard.
say that. Don't say
I got
that.
5 friends why you should be quiet. That's what she
No,
said.
I got
Don't
5
say that.
reasons.
No, don't say
Anyway,
that.
we'll read the little article that you have popping up.
Okay.
Chris
One of our
Benoit.
producers said- One of our producers says Fox is making an interactive film based on the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
There's my. You know what my
Yeah.
favorite one was? Does it?
Oh, God.
Daredevil Park.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's the
I remember
best.
you always say that, and I'm like, why? Tell us why.
Daredevil Park was my like childhood fantasy. You get to spend like you win this contest and you get to spend a night at a theme park, and you get to ride all the rides before anybody else, right? But it's closed down. You can do whatever you want in this park with like 6 other people or
Yeah.
whatever, and then shit just goes wrong. To me, that is the like. If you can do this kind of storytelling, honestly, it's something like The Void, where you like, all right, sit down and it's make you feel like you're going on a thing.
Are you
and then,
sitting
like,
down in the void?
It depends on parts of
Yeah.
it. Like parts of it you can be, and parts of it you're not.
It's expensive.
Dude, it's awesome. We can
it's
go for
good.
free. They told us we can go. But if we do the Void, I mean the one that I Wreck-It Ralph, they have a game. And you've seen Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
So
The
you
first
remember?
one?
Yeah. So there's a fun game because I know the Star Wars one is just a narrative.
Yeah.
But in the Wreck-It Ralph one, there is a game where you get to shoot pancakes or milkshakes,
Yes.
and it smells like pancakes and milkshakes.
No!
Yeah.
It's like
pretty
that.
awesome.
It's like that Simpson ride where like Maggie eats you and it smells like baby powder.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also
man, don't do that.
another cool thing too. What does that say, Joe? You watch? I love Sword Art
Joe,
Online.
you watch Sword
I'm a
Art
huge
Online?
Online fan.
The more you know. I hated season 2 with the elf thing.
Listen, here's the one thing I have a problem with Sword Art Online. Episode 20 of every season is super pervy.
Yes.
And it makes me super
Heavy.
uncomfortable.
On the
Like,
first season, it was that
it
girl in the
gets
cage.
really rapey, and
that
it's
girl
like-
in the cage, and he's like licking his lips, like, you're like, why are you
It's
doing
like, yo,
that?
you had me on board until you
Is that
started
like-
raping
Is
me.
it like
Yes.
Master Roshi on steroids?
No, it's like,
Oh, yes.
It's way
worse.
worse. It's kind of like, oh yes, what do you wear? And it's like a girl that's like just wearing a shirt and he rips it off, and it's like,
Dude.
this is crossing the line.
And she's sitting there
Is
like,
it a
oh,
kid
no.
show?
I certainly hope not, because if so, we are fucked. If
Yes, right?
no, but I do like Sword Art
going
Online.
back, yeah.
But I think though that certain movies are going to lend itself well. Certain other movies aren't, and I think that's where we kind of and it's funny because going back to our original talk about these streaming things. Roma is the exact opposite. Roma is a black and white film about a family.
Okay.
Right? This is almost completely opposite. It's a good. I mean, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, it's a good solid movie. But is a movie.
It
It's
won some
just a
festival. It won
movie.
some festival stuff.
It's an
as well.
Oscar movie.
I mean, that's
Well,
another
yeah,
thing too. Like,
it
movie
really
made for
is. It
Oscar.
really is made for Oscars. It won some stuff at other festivals already. It's a film where you're like, oh, this is a movie. It's a character study about blah blah. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
it
what
is.
is it? Is this like during like some kind of like natural disaster or something?
no. Wait, no.
No,
There doesn't
it's a-
always have to be a natural disaster in
It-
every
it
movie.
kind of
No,
reminds
it's
me of
the
like,
Darjeeling-
what's that
it's the
movie
Darjeeling,
What's that
um,
movie with?
This is
with
directed by
Ewan
Alfonso
Ewan
Cuarón.
McGregor, where there's like a tsunami.
Oh,
or
Star Wars
something?
Episode 2.
No, a tsunami.
Oh, that movie's The Impossible.
Yeah.
That movie's great, and it's based on a true story.
For some
No.
reason, I'm getting that vibe.
Anybody that's ever wants to see Tom Holland at his best, because Tom Holland's the son in
Oh,
that movie.
yeah, that's right.
That movie is brilliant. I love that movie. The Impossible's great. Go watch it.
Dear God.
It wasn't made by Netflix. This one was.
This one was
Once again,
purchased by
yeah,
Netflix.
for
So this is
distribution,
this
that's right.
for distribution.
Where's Netflix getting this money? I thought they're like hemorrhaging money right now.
Secret investors, bro. This is why they want us to put on those. This is Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
This is the company that's gonna fucking eat our brains and just make you die when you're wearing your headset. I'm like, oh, if you release him, he's gonna die. This is what that
Hopefully
is.
their
I don't know what that
sharpshooters are really good because I'm sitting right next to them. and Joe has just told your whole plan.
He's gonna do that.
I
thing
know
where
they're gonna be like,
he's gonna do that thing where he
right.
waits till all of our necks
all of
are
our
aligned.
it's all done right on air.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just saying, whenever you guys go for it, make sure I'm not close.
I'm not a fan.
Because
I'm
he
not
just
a fan
told
of
their
this.
secrets.
But I do think though that like storytelling. Listen, honestly, any visual storytelling is a cool element, mainly because it's an escape. At the end of the day, movies are about escape.
Yes.
You can enjoy any movie. I might fuck around with you and say like, hey, you like Fast and the Furious? That's a shitty franchise. Truth be told, if you enjoy it, that's great. Mainly because if you didn't go and watch movies, I wouldn't have a job.
Facts.
What other actors am I going to interview?
Yeah, that's right.
You interview a whole lot of TV.
So, and I don't like interviewing TV actors.
exactly.
Unless you make it into the... Actually, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
because I'm going to have to interview a lot.
No, Joe enjoys
Jake Johnson,
interviews.
you're my fan. No, but for real, I think that it's an escape of visual storytelling. Whether that be an anime, whether that be a foreign film, whether that be...
Stop motion. Well,
I think stop motion's great.
Yep.
But any kind of thing that can take you away deserves
So if
your
you can
respect.
if you can escape reality, then it's a good film.
Yeah, and I think that
With
certain
a
movies,
story,
and I also
with a
think that
narrative,
certain
something.
movies either cinema at its best, in my personal opinion, storytelling at its best is a movie that you can walk away from still thinking about it and sparking a conversation that's going to lead to a bigger conversation.
Yes.
This is exactly why
Yes.
the Green Book was my favorite movie of the year.
Haven't seen
Wow.
it yet.
Is because it makes you it makes you walk away from the movie feeling good, but B, it makes you spark a conversation and learn things that you would never have learned had you not watched that movie. That's cinema storytelling at its finest.
Okay. So,
And sometimes you just like dumb movies. Like personally, and I'm not allowed to really review it, so I'm just gonna say I liked it. Go watch Escape Room. Like Escape Room's a lot of fun.
okay.
And then they put us in an interactive experience for the junket.
Yeah.
They put us in an escape room, but the escape room they put us in was the one from the movie.
Oh,
pretty
that
fucking
is
awesome.
no, that's not okay.
I
That's
like
freaky
escape
right
rooms,
there.
man. Escape
Oh
rooms.
man.
You can also
Well,
figure out who the dumbest person in your squad is
definitely,
in the escape room.
Definitely.
That's a true story.
Last time I was in an escape room, I farted on somebody.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. I
right in
remember.
Ernie's face, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bravo.
remember
But speaking of movies and saying that when it comes to storytelling and the whole idea of escaping and still being able to tell a narrative that people want to walk away from and discuss. Yes, there was, talking about new films, yes, there definitely was Jordan Peele's first foray into it, which was...
Ooh, that trailer came out?
Well, that's
We're
what we're
talking
going to
about
talk
that.
about.
Christmas?
First was, Get Out, and now gives us Us, which is weird to say.
This Is
but
Us?
now we have Us.
This
the
Is
movie
Us.
Us. No,
This
that's
Is
no,
Us?
don't stop it.
This is
that
us,
movie Us.
Peter Petrelli?
I'm go- Where's Arnold? God damn it, where's Arnold? Arnold, why?
Why is Arnold just making
Does Arnold have a stroke? That's what I need to know right now. Like, it's one
Not
side.
a stroke, it's a tumor.
This Is Us.
Ah, damn it.
Tell me about This Is Us now. I thought I
But
would've-
let's talk about Us. Let's talk about this trailer that came out because
Oh my God.
I saw this trailer as well, and this is the movie that they sent me the velvet box with the
Yep.
scissors in it.
What?
Which the Golden Scissors? They sent them the okay.
So they sent me 2 days before Christmas, or maybe like a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Universal sent me a box, a green velvet box, that legitimately I had to sign for. It's a green velvet box, and I opened it up, and it just had my name on it, and it had a pair of golden scissors in it, and it just said Christmas Day, stay tuned, and it had us.com /Joe Deckelmeyer,
What are you
and it
gonna
was
do
a
with those
personalized
scissors?
trailer for me.
Yes,
What are you gonna do with the scissors?
I'm gonna bring them next week, and maybe give out the box.
possibly.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should have Jordan Peele and them sign. I should just sign it. It'd be Jordan Peele, right? I should just sign it. I'm gonna sign it.
Can we cut JD's beard off with the scissors?
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
Well,
Happy
There's
New Year,
so
guys.
much going on now. This is the thing I do like about Jordan Peele. What he likes to do, he gives us a trailer, and people are automatically clamoring, talking about it, saying, "Oh my God, what's this? What's that?" And then he will do little snippets of things, saying, "Oh, P.S. So this is what this stands for. This is what that stands for. All right, that's it. Blah blah." Giving us more and more until we get to the film. Like he tells us exactly what's going on with the doppelgangers in the trailer, and he gives them the name of the threat. The tethered, and that's genius because then after that you're kind of like and you get the whole idea of the whole your worst enemy is yourself, etc., blah blah, and all this stuff, and you start to put pieces together. And I love that about he makes it where the film itself, learning about it, is almost interactive, where people are all discussing it like
Guys, super
it's
chat
like
there.
the Lost. It's like Lost. or the lost effect. We got a super chat from Toku Kid. Great horror remix of a great song.
Which song was it?
Which one? What?
I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. That's true. When they boop boop boop, that was true. He does whatever trailer house he uses. They're doing very well.
Remember back in the day when Get Out first came out, when you saw that name show up as far as like who directed it? Everyone's like Jordan Peele.
Like, really?
The guy from Key and Peele?
That guy writes sketches. Right? That's all you're thinking. Really, a sketch writer?
But now, like, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Now he can do whatever he wants, and clearly he is.
But I think that, like, this is the interesting thing. I was just watching. I don't know why I was watching this, but it fascinated me. Was Ellen DeGeneres stand up on Netflix?
It's really good.
It was okay.
I was looking for the actor.
I thought it was good.
I was looking for the
Winston Duke.
Yeah, Winston Duke, not Clark Duke.
Did you put Clark Duke?
Did you know they're related?
You were thinking about Clark Duncan and Winston Duke, and you were putting them together.
No, Clark Duke. Clark Duke's
Oh, okay.
the guy
I thought
from,
you were talking about. I thought. Oh,
Anyway, my whole point that I was trying to make is that you put people in boxes and you think that, like, oh, well, that's this guy, Jim from The Office, John Krasinski.
There you go.
Like, well, that's the comedian, like you mean from The
comedic
Office.
actor,
Steve Carell's another one, right? He was always known as a comedic actor, but he's doing so much more. Jordan Peele is right there with those guys.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele is he's one of the more innovative storytellers in the modern era, and he's pushing the limits. The one thing I respect about Jordan Peele is that, for right or wrong, and I did like Get Out. I personally thought it was overhyped because I saw it after everybody else. Right. However, I think this movie is going to be better than Get Out.
Yes.
But I also think that Jordan Peele's doing something almost on the same level as what Black Panther did. Not culturally, but socially. It's making people reflect on. It's making people look at something that it's almost like a cinematic Twilight Zone episode.
Well, with us, I mean, clearly the whole thing is like, okay, it's like what people like to say, the fourth plane. That whole thing is like when you look in a four-way mirror and they say the whole thing of the fourth reflection that you see is supposed to be the bad timeline or whatever. And that's what we're getting here in the film. That's what I at least see. That's what those doppelgangers that are threaded are. And it's just still, once again, like you said, the Twilight Zone bit of storytelling. And there's a reason why people are looking at him to do the Twilight Zone, et cetera, et cetera.
He's doing it.
Exactly. So the reason is his storytelling makes sense. It works out well. And I love every bit of it. It's cerebral, I guess, if you want to say that. But there's a lot of time into it. He takes a lot of time and a lot of thought into it, and I love every bit.
Yeah, so what'd you think of the trailer?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was creepy. I was watching it during Christmas, like right before the NBA game. I was like, oh man, what is this? Like, I got scared a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, because I like all those stories like that. Like, what was another movie that's where like there's like this random people with masks on, just
The Strangers.
The Strangers, yeah. Or that one where they were in the hotel with Luke Wilson. I can't remember.
Oh no,
There's
also one James Mars did. I think that's the original Strangers, actually. Not the original, but like the movie.
That's just creepy.
There's
like,
also one with Liam Neeson. I think it's called Taken.
Oh yeah,
that's
that's a scary one.
But I also think that what he's doing, and then somebody asked him in an interview, Jordan Peele. Somebody asked him, was like, "Hey, so when are you going to do a superhero movie?" He's like, "I don't think I'm ever going to do a superhero movie." He's like, "I want to keep telling socially conscious horror movies." And to me, that's kind of like, man, think about this. You're essentially, without saying it, you're essentially turning yourself into a modern-day Alfred Hitchcock.
Yep.
And I thought that...
Whoa!
Was that really blowing your mind, or is that picture blowing your mind?
No, the Hitchcock thing.
It is, though.
Yeah,
he's turning himself into a modern-day Alfred Hitchcock, and I think that's kind of brilliant on his part. He's stepping out, and you know that he's already a good writer. I personally think that if you can write a comedy and make it work, you're a pretty good writer. Because that means you can
met him
almost
yet?
anything. No. I'm going to for this.
Wow.
I'm going to see what he's wearing so I can go.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
Oh, you should just have like wardrobe options in your car.
And just
it's
be
like,
ready just in case.
You see him, it's like, oh shit, okay.
Okay, I got it. And come back out like, hey.
He's
They're like, oh, Mr. Peele, come this way. And he's like, okay, all right.
It's like looking in the mirror.
No, that's what he said. He's like,
actually, I think this would be the perfect movie for us to do this.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Jinx! But holy shit, that is it! Oh, gee!
This would be the perfect movie for us to do it. But I want to see if I can get him to do like the mime thing with me.
Hey, you know you have
just
an
sit
endo.
across from him.
You know you have someone that can tell you what he's gonna wear that day, right?
Who?
Brax, right?
How is Brax gonna
I
know?
thought you said Brax is his wife's friend.
Oh yeah, Braxton Jones' wife. That's
Find
true.
out if that's the case.
That's true.
Yeah, and then oh my God, she'd be in on it. She'd definitely be in on the joke.
It'd be a great interview.
She would be in on the joke
Yeah,
too. She
it'd be
would.
a great interview. It'd be so good.
And then you just sit there. You bring the scissors and
Anyways.
sit down right across from him and just lean in.
I think it'll be fun. I do want to talk.
then
I'm
lean
excited
back
to
and
talk
start
to him.
doing the
Though.
interview.
I'm excited to talk to him.
When does this movie come out?
Soon, I'm assuming.
I forgot when it comes out.
Great. That's great. That's
see.
awesome. Get some release dates here.
March 15, 2019.
I have so many
So
theories
you're probably
already.
gonna watch it in February.
I have so many theories I'm going to share with you before you see it, and then see if they're right.
Holy crap! It's in movie theaters now.
What?
No,
Yeah, ArcLight Beach City, 7:00.
that's not out,
No,
bro.
no way. When is it supposed to be released?
March 19th.
Yeah,
March 15th.
nah.
It's not out.
Oh no,
Click
no.
it.
Wait, that says March 14th.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stupid
Yeah.
moron.
Stupid Google. It's
Yeah, it's Google.
Stupid idiot.
All right.
All right, so let's talk about this. We know about us. What other movies are we looking forward to in the coming up year?
Future upcoming
If you had to pick
movies.
5.
Dang, I don't even know a 5. Well, Lion King.
Well, that's one. We're all going to go in an order here.
Okay.
You have The Lion King. What about you?
How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Dang.
Dude, those
for me,
they're
it's
actually
the
good.
last- I made
Jezzer do that interview.
No,
in New
but
It's
York.
the last of the story.
But the movies are actually good.
Yeah,
They're
The
it's
first,
last
I didn't
of the
like the
story.
first one.
You didn't like the first one? They're
The
actually
first one
good.
is
It's boring.
It's
Yeah.
establishing.
I'm
That's
excited
great.
for it.
It's stupid.
That's my number 5. Okay?
That's your number 5. I think my number 5 is going to be Shazam.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to Shazam.
Okay.
I wish it was a little higher on my list, but I'm excited for it.
You think it's gonna do well?
I'm not-
I hope it
wasn't
does
doing
well.
it
It looks.
accordingly.
I
It's
think it looks
February.
good.
It's February. I mean, is there?
Look, Zach Levi, I think is going to be great in the role. But
Oh
if
no,
it-
no, it's not.
if they're able to
It's
do this
April,
as like a
April.
superhero version of Big, I'll be super stoked about that.
Oh.
I've seen he's been
Do you
pretty-
feel that Zach Levi is the next Tom Hanks?
I mean, he could be.
In that way?
He could be.
No, he's definitely got that Tom Hanks vibe.
He definitely has that
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks vibe, and he's a nice guy.
Yeah. And he
retweeted us.
Oh, yeah, he
He
did.
did. Dude, that was so cool.
He didn't
That's
retweet
so-
you when you did
I
it.
know,
retweet.
man.
I didn't know that he's kind of like a devout Christian. I didn't know that. Like
yeah.
that whole thing about him, I didn't know. But he's so nice.
He's a nice guy.
So nice.
All right, well, what's your number 4? We'll go with you.
Number 4 would probably be Shazam. I like Shazam.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do mine. Detective Pikachu.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like
I wanted to say that.
I'm happy that Paramount is probably better off that they didn't drop their Sonic trailer, because I will guarantee you it's not going to look as good
It's
as
not
Detective
gonna.
Pikachu.
One, it's not gonna look as good. Two, it's not gonna be as funny.
I'm the only one that's not really bothered by the muscular Sonic legs. Why is that?
Oh, I don't mind.
Bother
I don't
me?
Because
mind.
you
That makes
look
sense.
like Sonic the
You
Hedgehog.
look like
That's
Sonic.
why.
Actually, that's true. I mean, we look at his legs, and I'm like Jezzer. That's all immediately. It's like, oh, it's
How
synonymous.
about you? Did you say your number 5?
Mine was actually
4.
going to be from Pikachu as well.
Okay, all right, number 4.
And then
Dude, he looks cool.
And
Yeah,
so,
Pikachu looks great. I
Like,
honestly.
exactly how I imagined.
But even
Pikachu would look
in
like.
that trailer, it hits all the comedic. It's almost like watching a James Gunn Pikachu movie, right? It's like hitting all these comedic beats, but then also like honestly, Ryan Reynolds, he crushes it as Pikachu, and it's like, oh, that's kind of Deadpool Pikachu. That's Deadpool.
Do you like Justice Smith?
Do I like Justice Smith?
Yeah.
the wrestler?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, he was in
The actor.
Get
he was
Down
in, he was in the Get Down.
and,
he was in,
Jurassic
With
World.
Shamik Moore?
yeah.
Yep.
I like him more than
He's a-
Shamik Moore.
Oh
do?
boy, a lot of people like him more than Shamik Moore. There's been stories I've heard.
Number 4, Daniel.
Number 4.
Three. He's on
3
3.
for me is Brightburn.
Ooh, good choice.
Oh, okay.
Now,
okay.
essentially what this is, Brightburn is, I know a lot of you guys already know, but we have to say it for other people that may not. It's the what if Superman was just inherently evil. That's exactly what it was.
There's so many movies in 2019.
Yes, there are. Yes,
Like
there are.
2019 is a huge movie year.
You gotta pick them, man.
Like just looking at it, I was like, damn, how do you even choose these?
You gotta pick one though, but that's mine. That will be mine. It's just what if Superman was inherently evil, and we're getting to see him raised as a kid and just growing up into being an
think
adult.
that's a good one.
It's pretty much the Cape, which is, but yeah, you're seeing the evolution of the villain.
I got to go with my number 3, It Chapter 2.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's mine.
That's a good one.
It Chapter 2, I mean, It Chapter 1 was amazing. It's almost like this is a different version of it, not like the made-for-TV version, but almost like a Goonies horror movie.
Yes.
And to me, this is exactly what I always wanted when I was a kid. And there's a giant park we kind of grew up with over there. And I remember, like, always thinking like it was in there, and now it's kind of like now this is like come to fruition.
Do you like the
this.
adult cast that they chose?
I love it.
Everybody?
Everyone right now.
I like most of them.
Most of them.
I like most of them, but I think that they're gonna win me over. I'm really excited for it. Chapter 2.
Nice.
And what's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is Hobbs and Shaw.
Of course.
Yes.
Whoa,
Calvin and Hobbes.
Wow.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Calvin and Hobbes.
The thing I'm most interested to see in this movie is they're casting
The Rock.
The Rock's family. So I want to see like The Rock's family, and I hope that they have their own like Hawkeye.
Like Roman Reigns.
I did choose Roman Reigns.
And Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah, and then the
Anybody that's Pacific Islander.
Well, actually, no. I still think Jezzer deserves to have a role, have a scene. I think they're gonna give us a
honestly,
call.
for his oldest brother, I chose the Aquaman's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I did. I had a picture of a bunch of people.
I remember I interviewed Vanessa Kirby for Mission Impossible, and I was like, "Hey, so you're playing Jason Statham's sister," and
Is she?
And she was like, "I'm in the movie, but I can't say who I'm playing." And I was like, "Oh, you're playing his sister."
You're obviously.
I mean, it's not like it's a big
like
question.
opposite of Luke Evans and
Yeah.
it's gonna be cool because you got Luke Evans, you got the mom coming back. She was a great.
What's
role.
also cool too, it's a cultural clash
Yeah.
of like the British and these Pacific Islanders.
Yes.
I think that's gonna be kind of entertaining to watch.
Yeah, and like their whole little dynamic that they had in the last film was great.
Wait, you're a big fan of this franchise, so I do have to ask you: is because the odd couple for the original series was obviously Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Is this the new odd couple for the franchise?
I don't know if Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were the odd couple.
I mean, you had the pretty boy white guy, and then you had the Italian.
Yeah.
For the most part, they were always on the same page. They were always on the same.
Well,
page.
one drove foreign cars, and the other one drove American.
I guess that. But yeah, this is definitely the odd couple because this is the cop and the crook. Like
Yeah.
This is
But
the
wasn't
cop-
it the same way in the first one too? I mean, was it?
Shit, why am I? No,
Yeah,
no.
didn't they
Was
already
it-
have
was
that
it-
situation
But
earlier?
for some
Wasn't
reason,
Paul Walker's character the cop, and wasn't
like,
Yeah,
for some
Vin
reason-
Diesel, yeah.
Toretto the crook?
For some reason, like I've split these Fast and Furious films into 2 different movies. Like,
You have pre-rock and then
like,
post-rock.
yeah, I mean they're totally different movies. I think.
They are different movies.
But you have to admit, from early era,
But they are the same
franchise.
movies.
It's the same.
I mean,
It is,
obviously
it is.
there are a few people on the Fast and Furious team that don't agree with it, like Tyrese, who doesn't like. He's probably not even gonna watch this movie.
I would
Oh,
like
yeah.
to have that clip of him. I
just love the fact. Here,
now.
listen,
He's
I
fine.
hope. I just love the fact that Tyrese is like, if you make this movie first, I'm not going to be
I'm
the
not
next
gonna
one.
be it.
He's
I'm
like,
pretty sure the producers
Are you
like
serious?
the producers
Going back
are
to our
like,
conversation before, Tyrese or The Rock? Get out of here!
Right?
What, you had a cameo in an Usher music video? Get out of here!
Tay Diggs, you're replacing Tyrese.
Right. Taylor's like,
No.
oh man, all right, ready.
No,
he
they're
just gets
gonna
right off
bring
the
in. They're
bench.
gonna bring in War Machine. There's like, oh, you already.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Damn.
Hey, Terrence Howard's gone. Don Cheadle, you come in.
Here I am. All right, let's do this.
That's so messed
All right,
up.
so what's your next one?
My next one is going to be Aladdin.
Shit, that should have been
Dang,
my next.
man.
I completely left Aladdin off the list.
I'm in because honestly, the Aladdin film was probably one of my favorite Disney films.
It's my
growing up.
favorite Disney film as well.
Definitely my favorite because it's just about this kid trying to prove himself, like trying to like step out of that misconception that he's not worth anything, you know. And if this movie does that, like, I know that a lot of people are mad about like their costumes and how Will Smith is in blue and all that, but
I mean, if there was one complaint I have, forget about Naomi Scott. It's Will Smith's not blue.
really,
Yeah.
But they said he is gonna be blue.
Yeah, they said that.
He fucking better be.
They said what they're showing is when he tries to be like, oh, I'm gonna appeal to you in this way, I'm gonna show up human, but this is me, and then he's
No,
blue.
but I like seeing the genie in that at the California Adventure Show. He's still really good.
Yeah.
That Broadway
Yeah, the Broadway stuff is like they didn't dress up in blue on Broadway.
and
It's
he's
like,
still
hey, here I
really
am.
good. Like,
Yeah. And I mean, it's Will Smith. Am I really gonna say that he's gonna do that bad of a
No,
job?
especially-
It's not
Have
that
you
movie
seen
with
his
his
Instagram
son.
stuff? No.
It's not that movie with his son. You know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
After
man.
Earth.
Yeah, there you go. You know, it's not that one. So I think he'll be fine.
I think that's a good choice. What's your number 2?
Wasn't that number?
That was
two?
number 3.
That was number 3. Toy Story 4.
Ooh.
I haven't seen Toy Story 2 or 3.
Oh, but you watched 1.
I watched
Remember,
1 on the plane.
Before,
And I quit and I fell asleep when I was
before
watching
this
2.
year, he has not seen any Toy Story. And then we
all.
watched it on our way back from New York. He's like, and then I asked him, like, it was super
So what'd
loud,
you
so you
think?
can't. So I was just like, he's like, He put a thumbs up.
Well, the second one, I started falling asleep, and I was like, I can't get through the second one. Not right
The
now.
second one,
And we had
The second one was actually really good.
It's not a
Moment.
bad idea.
Fine.
It's just we came from it's a long flight. I just got done watching a movie. I just wanted to rest.
Yeah.
I had a drink at that point.
Yeah, because we got free.
We got free drinks.
I'm excited.
Hey, Jordan Peele's in this one too.
Jordan
Let's go.
there you
Peele
go. There you go.
Yeah.
And Keanu.
I'm excited to see who Keanu is gonna play.
I thought it was that fork.
It's not that
fork.
fork.
It's
That's
not
Tom.
fork.
I know.
That's
I
Tony
was
Hale.
like, I thought it was.
Oh, look at that hair.
Woo! I mean, so I'm wondering, like, did he really shave his head first? And
Yeah.
everything? Like,
Is that mean?
wow.
Is that
It's
hard?
not. Yeah, I mean, look, he
Yeah, I
shaved his
know,
head
but
for
some people,
Deadshot.
they're like, oh shit, you're just gonna shave your head?
Would you
He's
shave
like,
your
yeah,
head?
sure.
Would you shave your head
Yeah,
for
I
the
would
show?
not shave my
He
head.
did it for Deadshot. Why would?
Yeah, sure. Why didn't do it again? It just, I'm just like, Will's getting old. After a while, he's like, I don't know if it's gonna come back this time.
Nah, he's
Like, he's
good
like,
there.
oh boy.
Oh, is that a fear?
That's always a man thing. Where after you get a particular age, you're just like, I don't know if it's gonna come back if I cut it off.
So that was number 2.
So what was it?
That was number 2.
That was years.
Toy Story 4.
Oh, my number 2, The Joker.
Woo!
See, there's just so many good movies in 2019.
there
that you
is.
can't.
The Joker.
Honestly,
I honestly think this is going to be like Dark Knight type of storytelling, like except I almost think this Joker movie is almost going to be taken as serious as you can take a supervillain in real life. Wow. Listen, to sign somebody like Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro and Zazie Beetz, I think this movie is going to be fucking brilliant. I'm calling it right now.
Oh boy.
Joaquin Phoenix will, at the very least, get nominated for an Oscar for his portrayal of the Joker. And I think this is... Listen, if you're somebody like Joaquin Phoenix, anybody that plays the Joker, really, it's going to be super hard to be compared to Heath Ledger. I think this dude does it.
It's Joaquin Phoenix.
It's Joaquin
So
Phoenix.
right off the bat, you're kind of like,
He
man,
convinced me he's a rapper.
as Johnny Cash
Oh yeah, he's Johnny Cash.
or a creepy guy from Her.
Yeah, there you go.
We call him Josh Goldman.
he's done so well and he's proven himself over so long in time. Why would you not expect to see just as good of a performance with him approaching the Joker? Yeah. Especially with all that's coming up behind, like you said.
Man.
Everyone
Imagine
else
him
has
coming
played
to like a
him.
gas
I have
station.
to.
I'm here to buy some gas.
Well, he looks like the guy that kills people in that one movie with Josh Brolin.
Hey, friendo.
Country for Old Men, yeah.
Yes,
He's like Bardem, right?
Yeah.
He looks like Bardem in that picture. It was
mean
like,
Negan?
hey, friendo, call it.
That's
You're
what
like,
I
he's
mean.
going to kill me with a gun. He's going to kill me with a
Bardem
gun.
and Negan look the same.
They do look the same, though.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to crush it, and that's why I'm excited about this movie. What's your number 2?
Captain Marvel.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, come on.
Wait, the
Let's go
Shazam
for...
one or
No.
which Captain Marvel? The real
Can
Captain
hurt you! Where's Arnold? Oh, God. He only understands me. No, I'm talking about Marvel's Captain Marvel.
Marvel's
Not DC's
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. It's
You like
just
the Brie Larson Captain
Yes,
Marvel.
the Brie Larson Captain Marvel. It's something we've all been waiting for, and it's helping add on or complete some holes within stories that we wanted info on. So it's like, great, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
like that.
I need it.
There's a huge movie that I completely overlooked, but whatever.
Yeah. See,
What's yours,
Man,
number
there's
1?
too many.
I can start my number 1.
Yeah, we
Shoot,
think it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about
you-
like. Well, because I didn't. I gave us as my.
You doing
like,
cocaine or you're motorboating? You're motorboating the air. I'm not sure quite sure
I
what you're
gave
doing
us
there.
as my number 5, and that should have been my number 1. So if I'm gonna go for it, screw it. Let's go for crap. I have to pick one crap movie, and I'm gonna say Happy
your
Death
number
Day
1?
2.
Wait,
Wait,
that's
for
your
your
number one
number
movie?
Well, dude, I'm
Do you
out of
not
order
understand
because us should have been
Oh,
my
okay.
number 1.
All right, let
Us should-
him.
no, that's the
Actually,
problem.
look, I think like that's a good choice. Mainly because
Because-
Happy Death Day was a surprising hit.
It was.
To
It
me.
was.
It was. I
But
thought
the
it was
thing
it was a
I
better
would've-
told Groundhog's Day.
Good job. Good job.
I like
I
it.
would have put it the other way. So originally, if we
what's your
really want to say it,
number 1?
Us is my number 1, and Happy Death Day 2 is my number 5.
Okay.
But there you go.
Number 1.
This is a tough one,
Okay.
but I'm gonna have to go Avengers Endgame.
Okay. Cool.
I don't think there's any. Listen, we all went crazy for a fucking title, let alone a
Yeah,
trailer.
man.
We all were clamoring the internet for a title. That tells you this. And look, there's a lot of movies that could have been on this list, but Avengers Endgame, the finality, or not finality, but the last 10 years that this has been building up to, I want to see how it all ends.
yeah.
And I'm excited. The trailer's really good. I'm excited to see where this goes. I want to see. I've been following these characters for 10 years.
And it's interesting because we start with Favreau, and now we get to it, and we're ending with the Russo brothers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just like both of those two. When you think about their careers, as far as when it comes to film, both of them had a kind of meteoric rise, and it happened to be due to connected to Marvel. So this is great to see this come through, where it's just full circle.
Now you're number one.
It's gonna be the conclusion to an amazing trilogy.
I know what he's gonna say right now. Let me say it on three. One, two, three. Star Wars Episode 9.
No.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. It is Angel Has Fallen.
what?
I'm sorry.
It's the third installment of the Fallen series with Olympus Has Fallen.
I hate you.
And
God, can I just throw
London
things
Has
around here?
Fallen.
Can I just throw things?
You got
But I
Mor-
picked
first off,
the
you
crap
got
movie that
Morgan
actually was
Freeman,
still okay.
Who is playing our president now, and you have Gerard Butler, one of the best action stars ever to be seen in a
What
movie.
are you talking about right now?
Angel Has Fallen.
I agree with you with the Gerard Butler thing. Is that movie he did with Jennifer Aniston? I thought he deserved
That
an
was
Oscar.
great. That was
Whatever the
Mexican
fuck-
or
He
No,
put the
what was that?
vibrating panties.
Oh man, that
This
Gerard
was-
Butler in that submarine movie
boy.
this year.
Yes. Yes. What is it? Lady Killer or something? Mother Killer? What was that movie called? Yes. So
Gerard fucking
Angel
Butler.
Has Fallen is my number one movie of 2019.
Is it really though?
Uh,
I mean, knowing you, it might actually be.
no, it was Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
It was
I'm
Avengers
actually
Endgame.
shocked that nobody listed Star Wars as their top 5.
No, not interested, bruh.
All right, let's play a fun game here. What do you think the
Honorable
title for the next Star Wars movie is?
Star Wars Episode
Yeah,
9.
nobody
John
picked
Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick. Honorable mentions, man.
I don't like,
Nobody-
John Wick
I don't
is
like
definitely
watching
one.
dogs die.
Nobody
movies.
picked Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Like I said, this was a really stacked movie. It's really hard.
Yeah.
This is really
Pet
hard.
Cemetery.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, that's gonna be a remake.
Okay, cool.
You know, putting it out.
What?
I just wanted to start naming
Frozen
off really
2?
weird. Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Glass.
It took me a while just to get through Frozen 1.
Glass.
Glass.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still watch it. I'm not
Fahrenheit 452.
Come
the
on,
sequel?
man.
It's even hotter.
Well,
Yeah, right. What men want.
I think that's gonna
waiting
do it
for
for us,
that.
though. I mean, Charlie's Angels, Terminator 6. Arnold, what about you? What's your top?
Arnold, yeah,
Arnold,
what
you
is
excited
Arnold?
for
Arnold,
Terminator?
you get one, Arnold. So let's know. Jezzer, bring him in.
okay.
I'm still waiting for Kindergarten Cop 3. Why would you replace me with Dolph Lundgren? That's not the same thing.
Well, thank you so much, Arnold.
Definitely
Thanks
a
for dropping
tumor.
by, buddy.
Definitely a tumor.
Zombieland 2, another one.
Oh, is that ever actually being made?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, as soon as he gets that weird, stupid red wig off his head from
What,
Venom.
what about Wonder Woman 84?
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
Damn.
What was that?
Damn.
What are you doing?
Damn, man. I'm telling you, 2019 is going to be a good year for movies.
Woo.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This has been a great 2018.
Oh, we forgot Dora the Explorer.
Wow. Before I can even say it,
We also, he is right
off-screen.
though. Jezzer is right. We do have the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Mexico to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
gonna be a
right.
good
That's
one.
right. That's a good big one. A huge
Lion
film.
King. Nobody mentioned Lion King.
Yeah,
Lion
yeah,
King.
yeah.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is this? I mean, if you look at my Instagram, I did talk to Travis Knight and I did ask him about Cybertron the movie, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
why are they promoting Lion King as the live action Lion King? Because it still is all
It's
animated.
Still all
Yeah.
animated, right?
Disney, why?
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 That's
That's it. Hey,
Hey,
here's another question. Do New Mutants and Dark Phoenix actually even come out this year?
Do they? Yeah.
You
Are they
think
coming out?
that they're actually gonna
No. Actually, no.
Wait,
Not
when
until like
Dark,
fucking
Dark
Christmas.
Phoenix is June 7th. No, pushed
Nope.
to November.
Push to Christmas.
Pushed
Push to
to
Christmas.
the Disney streaming site. Pushed to the Disney. Hey, you want to see the end of how this X-Men was going to end? Subscribe to
Only
Disney.
on
Plus.
Hulu Plus. On YouTube Red.
But
don't care anymore.
tomorrow, Daniel's going to be doing the Retro Range wrap up. I might be on the show. I'm not sure I'm going to be here. But you're also doing Retro Who.
Yes.
You're,
Yes.
you're in the Eccleston,
Oh,
beginning
man,
of Eccleston.
this is gonna
So
be
listen,
huge.
if you guys have never seen Doctor Who and you're like, I don't know where to
haven't.
jump on.
Now is the time to jump.
I don't know where to jump on. This is a good jumping on point. This is where you want to go, right? Have you ever seen Doctor Who?
No.
This is a good
Oh,
jumping
you're
on
missing
point.
out.
You should follow one.
Oh, Dick Eccleston?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Say it again. Just one more time.
Eccleston.
Okay, good. So Arnold's still here.
Also,
That's what I'm
over
getting.
English.
Clearly, I'm getting Arnold still here.
Dos-
That's what I'm
dos-
getting.
dos-
All right, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the Box Office Showdown. We look to see you next week and to go see some movies. Let us know what you think.
Go
And
see
we're gonna
Bumblebee.
be talking about the latest releases of next week. So join us live on Saturday evening, wherever you are, at least evening on the West Coast. Thanks so much for joining us. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Pop culture.
Wow, you're just.
How come Arnold didn't do it?
Yeah.
Arnold geek pop culture.